God bless my lovely cooperative wife who puts up with my workshop nonsense. Here's the test fit of the 17-inch Eastwood bead roller to a 19-inch bead roller stand. It's in a milling vise, but that's not going to work. The stand for the 19-inch system arrives today. I have to disassemble the whole mechanism, and I need to call her down and beg her one more time to lift it up and put it on a fulcrum to balance it to see where the mounting point for the stand would best be. And that was the purpose of putting it all together today. So in the shop, I'm going to be using the lathe a little bit to mill out one of the, and the milling attachment that I bought last winter that I've not yet used, to mill out one of the little tabs on the table to let it raise up so that the lower surface, the lowest surface on the bottom die is parallel with the table, which it's currently not. But that's going to be fun, not necessary. I have no real purpose for using this right now. I just like to have the tool. It's I have used it, and it is really pretty cool. So thanks for coming back to the shop.
Here you come. I was gonna carry your package down. I picked it up. It was kind of heavy.
44 pounds. This is my loving bride, and she was the one that so graciously helped me do the test fit for the bead roller table. The bead roller stand has arrived, so now we have to assemble that. We tried to figure out the balance point for the bead roller. We've got it marked more or less. Have to really disassemble this one. Drill and tap some holes in the blue plate. And then I'm going to put some locking, swiveling casters on the bottom of the stand, if that's at all possible. So first we're going to unbox it, see what we've got. Well, it seems pretty straightforward. It's metric, I'm sure. I am going to put casters on the bottom of it. And I just, 7/16 is the size of the hole in SAE measurement. But that was a metric bolt I was trying on, and the other hole didn't seem to want to thread in. Upright post, up main member, upright post brace legs, die rack, swivel head, hardware, yeah, M6, M8, M10, M10. So we can put it all together and have some fun with it. I don't know why I managed to push the button again, but it's all metric bolts. I think I'll just put the base together, because I have to take the whole frickin' thing apart to drill and tap some holes. Maybe I'll spend some time reading these instructions. I'll be back. Well, having sufficiently reviewed the instructions, I think we're going to go for the time lapse and screw around assembling it, because the top plate, the swivel plate, comes out. I can put the entire stand together and then tap and or drill and tap the holes for the bead roller itself, and then just 1, 2, 3 bride and self mount the whole thing. Yeah, that's gonna work. So time lapse it is. Well, it's assembled, and I don't think I screwed up too badly. I am going to put it on the floor and start disassembly on the bead roller itself, and I think we're going to do okay with this. I think I just have to figure out which side I'm going to drill and tap the holes on. I guess it doesn't matter. And make sure I got it properly marked and properly figured out, and off we go. And I have to order the swivel casters. This is not to worry that the ink, that the transfer punch mark is off center from the ink mark because of the round in here. This doesn't sit flush up against the base. This essentially sits free. But if I put these in here, I do not want to have to fill this in again. If I put these in here, the transfer punch marks are perfectly centered. So now I got to figure out what size holes to drill for the M10. So let's go find out what an M10 is going to be. I think the book said 10-125. I better double check that. I used to fly airplanes for pleasure, and I used to make mistakes because I'd get fixated on a certain thing. And I'm trying to avoid that with this particular project, but it happens so often that you just think you got it figured out, and then you're just not open to. So here's M10 by 1.5, so already would have, what was it there? Yeah, M10 by 1.5. So 10 by 1.5 is here. 6, 8, 10, yes. Right. Well, what's the drill size that I need to do? That isn't showing me. It might show. I thought it might show on the tap. It's kind of important. Well, I'm going to do some homework and be back. Well, apparently I pushed a button and we're recording again. So, well, according to Google, the tap drill size for an M10 1.5 is 8.4 millimeters. If I then change that, it shifted to 394. We're going to just, and then if I change the mode, 21/64. That's what I would need to know. 21/64 is the drill bit size for this. Okay. draw blood, it's time for dinner. But it worked. I was terrified of breaking the tap off in the hole. But I guess if you just wind it carefully one time, quarter turn and back, eighth of a turn and back until there's no resistance, then it seems to work. So I'll be back after dinner, and we're going to tap the second hole, we hope, successfully. And after that, I ordered some casters. It should be here tomorrow, I hope, and mount them on the stand and then put everything back together. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll put you on time lapse. Well, that's it for tonight. Both holes are tapped. So the plate should be able to make it onto the stand. I've ordered the casters coming up tomorrow. I bought a lathe about 2 years ago. I've always kind of wanted one for the past 5 or 6 or 10 years. And I came up with this wonderful old Atlas 10-inch lathe. And last winter, I knew that I was never going to have a milling machine, although I certainly looked online for an Atlas mill. But there is a milling attachment available for this lathe, and I fought the eBay battle and won an expensive attachment, which is really not very capable at all. But there's a specific task that it might be perfect for, and that's to mill out the slot in the tabs here. Particularly, I think it would be this one, to make it deeper. Actually, not the hole there so much as the slot on the backside, to make it just a bit deeper or closer to this hole. Camera angles, Jeremy. Closer to this hole. So let's go see what we can do here. So there's room here to mill up towards the hole, which would allow the tab to adjust better. And I think I'm going to do all 4 tabs. And that will allow the table height to come right up to the lower edge of the bead roller die, perfectly aligned. So that's the objective. Could be a 2-day task, but who cares really? Kind of fun, and I want this tool to be properly set up, and I think I'm going to be able to get there. So coming back at you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Good night. In the world of outtakes, I suppose I should probably just thread this on and see if it works. Yeah, well, one of these days I'm going to sit down on one of these stools and it's going to move like that rolling stool that I bought from Jegs, and it's got locking casters on it, but they're not very accessible. So, little holes. Didn't actually test this one previously, but it looks like it's going to work, sort of. Crank it down and see what happens. Yay, it fits. Okay, 16s I think is what 18s is what we're looking for. I realize I don't have the microphone on and everything else set up properly, but George, I am paying attention to your suggestion. I hear you talking about steel-toed shoes. I truly do, George. But there we go. Success. All right. Now we'll see you in the morning.